Hello, my name is Tasha Williams, and the date is February the 22nd, and I would like to inform you about Miss Claudette Colvin today. There's a lot of things about history that we know, and a lot of things about history that we do not know. And today I would like to inform you about Miss Claudette Colvin. But before I do that, I would like to give you a little background information about Miss Colvin. Miss Colvin, she was a 15-year-old girl. She was born September the 5th, 1939. And she had two teachers, Miss Geraldine Nesby and Miss Josie Lawrence, who taught her about her constitutional rights. And so after school, Miss Claudette Colvin, she decided to get on the bus instead of walking home with a few of her classmates. So they sat back in the segregation side. So it was a white lady that got on the bus, and she wanted to sit in the seat that Miss Claudette was sitting. So that meant that Miss Claudette Colvin, she had to move out her seat and sit in another seat in the back. But Miss Claudette Colvin, she refused to get out her seat. And so Miss Claudette Colvin stated it was just like Miss Sojourner Truth was holding her down with one shoulder, and Miss Harriet Tubman was holding her down with another shoulder. And she said the force was so strong that she could not get out of her seat. So the bus driver saw what was going on. He heard the commotion between the two passengers. And so he told Miss Claudette Colvin that she had to get out her seat, so the white lady would be able to sit in this seat, because they was under the Jim Crow law. It was still segregated at that time. And this right here took place in Montgomery, Alabama. And so the bus driver said, Miss Claudette, you have to move. And she said, no, I will not move. So he said, I will call the police. So he did. He called the police. The police, they came. So upon the police came, they told Miss Claudette she was going to have to move, and she said no, she would not move. So they decided to use force on her. They handled her like she was a man. One police officer grabbed the right hand, the other one grabbed the left hand. And so Miss Claudette, she had her books in her lap. So her books fell from the force when they had grabbed her, and they had dragged her off of the bus. And then they had put her into the police car. So they took her to jail, and her parents, her mother and the pastor, had came to bail her out of jail. Her mother did not have that much money, so the pastor, he helped in her aid. And so they had met up with E.D. Nixon. He was the president of the NAACP. So he talked with them and to set up a strategy plan with them, since her mother did not have that much money. And so Mr. E.D. Nixon, he thought it would be a really great idea if he was to bring in at the time the secretary of the NAACP, which we all know her as to be one other than the great Miss Rosa Parks. So she came in, she got to really know Miss Colvin, they had bonded. And so when they had talked with each other, she decided, Miss Rosa Parks, that she was going to talk with E.D. Nixon, and said, well, Miss Rosa Parks, she's a great person, but we have to remember she's young, and we need to start a boycott, a new revolution. But we cannot have her as the face of this revolution because she is young. Keep in mind, she's only 15 years old. So this will be a great task that we will have on this young child. So they talked and they strategized in private. So Miss Rosa Parks, she took it upon herself after they talked about their strategy, that she would do the exact same thing that Miss Claudette Colvin had did. So Miss Rosa Parks, as we all know, she decided she was going to get on the bus, and she was going to take the first available seat that she saw, which we all know she did from upon our history books. So that Miss Claudette Colvin, she did the same thing. She had reenacted the same thing, but Miss Rosa Parks, she was much older. So her reason why she didn't want to go to the back of the bus was because She was just plain tired. And which so everyone took acknowledgement that Miss Rosa Parks, she was much older. And so people relate that as Miss Rosa Parks being the first person to sit on the bus. But however, if you look into the history books, you would know that there was a case called Brown versus Gale. In the case of Brown versus Gale, that was Miss Claudette Colvin. And she had a lawyer named Frank Gray, a young black man that had helped her took this case to the Supreme Court. And the judge, he had listened to her. And he had also listened to other people she had come forward within this case. And the young ladies' names were Rita Browder, Susie McDonald, and Marie Louise Smith. So they had talked to the judge and told them what had happened. So the judge, he decided that he was going to make a difference. So he overturned segregation, in which that Miss Claudette Colvin, she is the reason why we're able to sit and able to go and eat in whatever place that we choose. Just because of this law right here, Browder versus Gale again. So now Miss Claudette Colvin, even though she had this great victory upon her, even though she was living in Montgomery, Alabama, she was able to go and do, basically what she wanted to do. She had her rights that she felt was right, but she decided that she was going to move. And so she moved away. She moved to New York City. And there she decided she was going to pursue her nursing. And she raised her family. So now Miss Claudette Colvin, she has a book out about her early life entitled Claudette Colvin Goes to Work, and which later became a poem, a song, and a book. And that was written by Philip House. So Miss Claudette Colvin, she had accomplished a lot, and now she's 73. She still lives in the Bronx. And what she does now, she go around talking to people about her young life and how it was back then when she was living in segregated. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that Miss Claudette Colvin, she was a young girl. She was only 15. But we think because we're young, we cannot make a statement and that people will not hear our voice. But that is not true, because you can see here what I just told you about Miss Claudette Colvin. She was very young. She was only 15, and she made a statement. She made a difference. She believed in herself. And she is the reason why we have this great gift that I call it a gift, because it is a gift. Because so many of us, including myself, I don't know about the struggle they had to go through. But the only thing I can do is just read about it. And also I listened as she talked about it in a biography. The biography A&E Television Network. And as I listened to her, I realized that she made a stand. And also, not to take away from Miss Rosa Parks, she was a great lady, and she did what she felt she had to do to make everything better. Thank you.